up and with the money. No libby, no laba laba. I swear, this time we no go take them yawa. No gangalea, one.
Hello everyone, my name is Yvonne Chakachaka and I'm so proud to be Goodwill Ambassador of the Pan-African Heritage World Museum. It is time for the world to learn from the missing pages of Africa's history, art, culture, and indigenous knowledge. Join Africa to exhibit and curate her rich herbal plant farms, her historic places of African kingdoms, her beautifully sculptured park of heroes and heroines, Pan-Africa's hidden innovators and inventors, all in one 10-acre space of the Pan-African Heritage City in Ghana, Winneba Junction, 45 kilometers west of Accra. Visit our website. Let's together build a new humanity through walls of the Pan-African Heritage World Museum.
Count your 56 ambulance and 200 tons and P8. Sick nation. I know what nutrition, we know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. We know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. They insult us so much, I wonder why we know vex. 1212 Radio Culture. I wonder. Yes, indeed. Welcome once again to your favorite weekend editorial show. This one here is called Weekend Editorial on Radio Culture, which is truly Kwesi, a son by Kun. You know how it works. I come in peace. I come not to please. And with the money, no libby, no laba laba. I swear, this time we no go take them yawa. No gangalea, born bagawaya. I swear. Born bagawaya, yes. Today we'll be looking at three major issues, and then we have something on the sideline. The first issue we are going to be looking at is a response to my good brother Avraham Ben Moshe. I've never met Avraham Ben Moshe, but I call him my good brother. Why? Because I like his thought processes. I like people who think practically. I don't agree with everything he says, but I kind of really like his general outlook on life, which is why I'm calling him my good brother. But yes, today I have a few issues with something that he has put out there. Involving the response to Kevin Taylor. I'm talking about what's his name? Cheddar. Nana Kwame Bediako. I think that's his name, right? Nana Kwame Bediako, Cheddar. Yes, Cheddar put out some remarks the other day which attracted a lot of backlash. And part of that backlash was Kevin Taylor calling Cheddar out on the impracticality of that statement. Basically, they're not can say he wanted to bring the sea to Kumasi or something to that effect, right? And people think that it's a very, very I don't know the word to use there, but yeah, people thought that it was kind of condescending to say the very least. Now, Kevin Taylor descended very heavily on Cheddar for those remarks that he made about bringing the sea to Kumasi. And my friend, Yakani saying, Avraham Ben Moshe thinks that Cheddar was right. You know, we should encourage people like Cheddar. No, I don't think so. And we'll be looking at that. I was insulting elder hungry man. We will also be looking at that issue between the president and parliament. Parliament is saying, or I should say the minority, or I don't like calling them the minority because, I mean, at this point, we really can't call them the minority, even though from the beginning it was all kind of ways. Carlos, whatever his name is, chewing paper in the parliament and all of that, other shenanigans. We'll talk about that also as a part of one of the things that we'll be talking about. But basically, the opposition, let me call them that, the opposition NDC in parliament, including the Speaker of Parliament, who also happens to be a member of the opposition party, are threatening, said they will not confirm the president's nominees for ministerial appointments, and also the NDC, is actually threatening to impeach President Akufo Addo, and that is something that we will be looking at also. In the meantime, in fact, there's a third issue, right? The third issue is also about the president. We will be examining why the president will never sign the Family Values Bill. President Akufo Addo is playing every trick in the magician's hat not to sign the Family Values Bill. We will be examining why we think practically that he is refusing to sign that bill. Those are the three major issues that we'll be talking about. And on the sidelines, the Black princesses of Ghana, they made us proud. Listen, in a time like this is a bright spot. And the best part for me was how the crowd, how the audience, how the spectators appreciated the efforts and the performance of the Black princesses. But that's on the sidelines. We'll also get there. In the meantime, brace up. We will be taking up our first issue in no time at all. The first issue would be Avraham Ben Moshe. Cheddar is not the answer.
You say you be food soldier, they follow party matter, they carry oga dirty water, present in every danger. At the end of this year, waiting you get my dear. As it yet become clear that these people they don't care. We know vex enough. No vex enough.
If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. Honestly, finish for this country we call Ghana. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. Honestly, finish for this country we call Ghana. Shine your eye, oh. So say you go down your grind, oh. More way to go up in time, oh. No late. Up in time, oh, my way. Shine your eye, oh. So say you go down your grind, oh. No place cool for this life. Oh, yeah. Say we.
Okay, all right. So let's go straight into it. Issue number one, Avraham Ben Moshe on Kevin Taylor and all of that. Matter of fact, I'll be right back. Let me pull this up.
Okay, all
let's listen to Avraham Ben Moshe, and then we'll come back with a response. This is Avraham Ben Moshe. Simple, but we see the Ghanaians are not, we don't even know what we deserve, and we are not angry enough. We see President Yenya Ghana Kwame Nkrumah bread, organic and carrying nice synthetic. We say, now Kwame Nkrumah come 50 years ago, that's what I want. Yeah, Kwame do no season. Not in Scotia, it's sort of look at by the book. Which I saw them say, and we are doing Sina Fusika, now the practice on the self. You free, but you're chef from good weather. To buy and so on, then we're creating artificial rain, or create artificial oxygen. We're creating artificial rain. Who's over Yama? I'm not covered the whole Dubai. I'm not covered my I said, don't. I said, don't. No one over here. No one over. Shit. What's a global out to one way, but we know vex enough. We know vex enough. Okay, so that was Mr. or brother Avraham Ben Moshe. You see, the thing is, I side with a lot of what he's saying. As I said before, critical thinking is vital. All of that, all these things that we've said. But you know what is even more important than critical thinking at this point in our national lives, Avraham Ben Moshe? A practical thinking. Practical thinking. Practical thinking. What am I a great example with Dubai and all of these other places? I believe very much so, say, Dubai, no. There were Cheddar types there too. There were people who had all type of ideas. But I believe, say, they sifted through them and came up with the most practical ones. Okay? Dome now, okay, so more any they show that people had wilder ideas than that. But they sifted through them and came up with ones that they can actually achieve and settled with that. And that is what we need to do as Ghanaians. Okay, let's take the whole thing now, Cheddar kind of in. And by the way, he has backtracked, and we will talk about that also. Okay, I think he made his matter worse, Crampo, with that backtrack. But that walk short run. Let's not, go too fast. Let's deal with the matter one by one. Cheddar Asemna Kasa Okayan. Let's take the Asemna Okayan in its totality. All right. I've heard a lot of commentary about that whole thing, but I've not really heard anybody break it down, to the point where we can actually see the absurdity in the whole thing. Listen, the guy says that he is going to bring the sea to Kumasi. He said we're changing and also one canals. Canal is different from sea, right? Canal is a canal. So Opeso cast a canal and Kalbeka a canal right from the beginning. And I say, Opeso just said Ghanaians ain't name the correct friend canal, which is why you used the sea, to explain what you meant by a canal. And I don't, like I said, when we get to that part, we'll break it down properly and see how he's fumbling with the whole thing. But the whole idea, and he said, what was even the purpose for him suggesting, said the sea should come to Kumasi, or can say to cut containers to Kumasi? Bro, Ghana has developed the way it is. Kumasi, everything that you see there, has been done without the sea being there. They've cutted containers there. Okay? And cutting containers there, it's not a problem in itself. But Ufu says, it's going to make the cutting of the containers easier. Fair enough. But let's look at the cost factors here. Okay? To dredge a pool. And now they also canal, Payemfan is a canal. To dredge a canal all the way from Accra to Kumasi, with imagine the land mass that will take. What I mean, imagine the land mass that will take. Imagine now we're quite a crampo a quite see the amount of compensation they are paid and all that. Now you're going to destroy farmlands, you're going to destroy, because ensure the water no get any what are the paths where it wants. But of course, with modern day engineering, you can make it pass where it will. Still, it's going to pass through places where people's farms, people's homes, people's properties are going to be destroyed. We have to pay for all of that before we pay for the actual construction of our DNO, right?
All of that, to what end? Just so you can bring containers to Kumasi? Bro, put them on trailers and send them to Kumasi. Okay? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about all of that. So yes, let me backtrack a bit. It looks like I'm bundling all my facts together. I don't like when I do that, Yes, it sounds like I'm repeating myself. Let me take them one after that. We're talking about the whole thing about practicality. Ideas should be practical. Practical. If you tell me about putting up a Boise plant, that is practical thinking, which solves a problem, a latent problem. That's what impresses me. Not coming to tell me about some bogus dredging the sea to Kumasi just so. No, that's the aspect that the purpose, the reason why he thinks I was say a day a Poniko Kumasi. That is what we should be looking at. That's where the absurdity lies. Because if all you want is to cut containers and trailers to Kumasi, fix the existing infrastructure. Because that will take care of that. That will take care of that easy. So if you say Opesa would dredge a Podeko Kumasi, first of all, Kumasi is not the only city in Ghana. Kumasi is not the only place that needs commerce, that has commerce. Kumasi is a very commercial hub, of course. But after would dredge Ponidu Kumasi, no idea, no dredge to Asoko Tamale, no dredge to Asoko Wa, no or what? It's just not practical. It's just not practical. If a leader thinks, say, obey me the 4 years. Remember, you voted about 4 years, so you may have done no win another 4 years, not quite 8 years. But let's even say they voted Cheddar in some utopian world into the presidency for 4 years and gave him an extra 4 years, 8 years. Cheddar, you think within 8 years, on top of everything else that you should be doing in Ghana, you can actually dredge the sea from Kumasi to Way? And Ben Moshe, let's come back to you. In Dubai, their system of government is different. They have a benevolent monarch who has a lot of money that he controls and who has the goodwill to do what he has to do. Okay? Cheddar Beye president, everything that he has to do now has to be approved by parliament. It's different in Dubai. Okay, so let's look at all these things before we start talking about, na Dubai for cry or whatever. Dubai for when Dubai for or more airport or and I say whatever it is, mostly desert in Dubai for a year airport or my lake or whatever it is or my it serves a practical purpose for them. Share the cost of the omoye, versus the benefits they brought over a medium to long term now. It makes a lot of sense. Now tell me, say dredging apple from Kumasi, from Accra to Kumasi, share the cost involved now. Any benefit to be able to quantify to be laughing about. That's where the absurdity is. That is where the absurdity really is. Why can't we just keep it simple? Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. And I'm not saying you're stupid, Avraham. I'm just using that term or cliche or whatever they call it. Keep KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You understand? We can keep it simple, stupid. Because listen, when I was a child, I used to go from Kumasi to Asinfosu by train, Ashanti region, through Huni Valley, which I think is in the western region, is it? I need to check. But, to Kumasi, to Asinfosu, which is in the central region. Asinfosu had a vibrant train station with the trains passing through, bringing goods and people all the time. Kumasi had a vibrant railway. The edifice is still there right now, old and dilapidated as it is. It is still there in Cheddar. Instead of spending money, if all you want to do is to bring containers up there and cut things from Kumasi to wherever now, why can't you improve on the airport so you can fly the things instead? It's easier for less money, bro. Why can't you fix the railways, which needs fixing, by the way? And as a way, yes, flexible winner, you know how much employment that will bring? And you know how much commerce it would generate? I was driving the other day. I was going to Fort Worth. And then I got on the way, who said, there was this train coming. So people start slowing down, whatever, had to stop and let the train pass. Bro, be 10 minutes near Dasujina Honum. Train. It was over 100, I'm not joking, 100 trailers linked to each other, different types. Ebi honuma aduane na wom, ebi honuma you can explosive material, ebi honuma chemicals, ebi what den over 100 train. Even America, almighty America, with all its advancement, still relies on railway. Practical thinking. America is a country that has dug a tunnel under the river. Oko New York, between New York and New Jersey. There's a tunnel that goes under the river. Ufi New York, ufa tunnel ni moa. Ube pie the other side no. Now we're New Jersey. And that river knew which like, oh, what happened? You went under the river. They have that technology, but it's not practical to have that everywhere. So it's not everywhere. They still use railways. Rail cars by over 100. And the goods, all kinds of things. And then talk about the passengers also. If you go to the New York, the DMV area, railways is one of the most effective ways of transportation over there. Do you all guys remember when Joe Biden was, came to work in his train and whatever, or Kokotana training and all of that? Train is very vibrant. Uko New York subway system, the train, a train. And to fix that, Sika Odebeye sa dredging we say na wokanu. Ubetime about 1/10 of it. I fix the rail system in Ghana and even expand it. Okay, so let's not go ahead talking about just because we can talk just because it is Obia Yebi Danti. Nipa na waye no. Or share the purpose, or share the here no, and or yeah, the ebesutino. No. Na Ghana until they here at this point, Avraham Moshe, ye in Sio I beko Kumasi. Look at the environmental impact that will have. Look at the environmental impact. As I said, no make I don't know even if I should base it on Cheddar's backtrack or his original statement, because our backtrack is one can say canals. Now, it has to be connected to rivers. That is some BS because rivers are some now. Kumasi doesn't have any major river. It's a river bank, and now they be connected from Kumasi, Cheddar. These people, I don't know, man. When I'm so one, I don't think he expected this level of backlash. He knows Ghanaians are used to hearing bullshit when it comes to electoral promises and stuff like that. So he spoke without examining your kind too much. Because Cheddar, listen, as a leader, before we jina platform bia so I catch and say may side way you should have a good idea what that costs. Nana Akufo Addo, when he went for that interview in England, BBC, and he said, you can't say GS free SHS no okay, so the Ghanaians no. What's the cost? How much is it going to cost? Bro didn't have an idea. He started talking nonsense. Oh no, I prefer to tell the people of Ghana first before I tell you. Nonsense. Nonsense. He had no idea how much the project was going to cost. He had just said, oh, okay, Ghanaians would like to hear this. So let me go and say that. And then let's think about it later. Are we shocked the free SHS is in the state that it is right now? I am not shocked. Because they didn't think through it. And it's a similar thing here. Cheddar, Mami Bisao, in soon also the Baba Kumasi no. The boy is saying, how much money would it take to do that project? How much money would it take to dredge whatever it is you want to call it, a canal, the sea, whatever, from Accra to Kumasi. No, how much would it be? You don't know, but you're here promising that. And if you don't know it, then you don't know if it's practical to do. And if you don't know if it's practical to do, then you don't go promising it to people. Because they may vote for you based on that, only for you to come and realize, I did we cry me can ye, and you're practical, see a true say bit me, but it will take the whole country's entire annual budget plus more to do. And we can't do that because there's also education to take care of. There's also the civil service, your kind of reimbursements and all of that to take care of and all of that. And it's not something that but instead, you fixing railways, you fixing your airports. You make sure that the roads, are very well done, right? And Mahama was doing these things. The cocoa roads, he was connecting Ghana with roads. The infrastructure was tight. If you look at education, he was building schools. And Mahama didn't just do that, though. He set policies like the 40-year development plan, which was supposed to transcend his governance and set Ghana on a proper path for development. Now you want us to go back and try Cheddar. Cheddar, who has not a damn thing to show in terms of leadership. Whose only claim to fame, as far as I'm concerned, is that he has some money. And recently he started talking about some Pan-Africanist stuff, which is really great. But the way he even posits it, the way he sees himself as the liberator of Africa and all of this, bro, based on what? But every man is free to dream. Let him dream. If he thinks he's Kwame Nkrumah reincarnated, that nobody can fault him. That's his mean to me prove it. So Kwame Nkrumah reincarnated. I just don't believe it. I don't think he's anything close to being the president of Ghana. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close, crowd. So if we are looking for a president, we should be looking for somebody who has practical ideas. As a people, right? Yes. Like the 24-hour economy. Practical is going to work for us. So that's what we should be looking at. Not all these kind of wild fantasies flying out in the terms of promises. It's just, And then, Moshe, one more thing. You mentioned, since Kwame Nkrumah is the only authentic, I'm quoting you, authentic president. No more synthetic or something like that. I think that's what you said. Believe me, Ben Moshe, during Kwame Nkrumah's time, there were people who thought, you're plastic. Obviously, during Kwame Nkrumah's time, there were people who did not see what he was doing, who were against what he was doing, right? Who did everything to stop what he was doing. But today, the whole Ghana is hailing Kwame Nkrumah. It's the same thing. Trust me. Further down the line, Ghanaians will see the works that John Dramani Mahama is doing. We don't see it right now. And it's unfortunate to say a practical thinker like you, Ben Moshe, do not see it. Because if you examine the works of this man called John Dramani Mahama properly, who say, since Kwame Nkrumah time, he is one of the leaders that have come that really, 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 really has a plan, has a vision. Since Kwame Nkrumah, and by the way, he's not the only one. We have Kutu Achampong, Ignatius Kutu Achampong. We forget about that great man. Ignatius Kutu Achampong. Avraham Ben Moshe, do a little bit of research on Achampong, Mepachopi. When say, I don't know if you saw a bit of Achampong. I don't know, probably not. Me myself, I think I was born around when Achampong was in power, right? So thereabouts, or just about when he had been overthrown or something like that. I didn't see him too much as an adult, but I heard so much about him growing up, and a lot of what I heard about him was negative. For somebody who was a teacher, Ghanaians were going around saying, oh, he was uneducated, or so a guarantee, and I mean a Muslim guarantee, and all kind of stupid stuff. Ghanaians are very good at that. Saying nonsense about people to denigrate them and to put them in a certain light. They tried to paint him as a buffoon who did not know much. But look at the works of Ignatius Kutu Achampong. Ignatius Kutu Achampong is the one who built the annexes in the universities. Oko University of Ghana, Osha annexes necessary on Ekwafo Hall, Sabah Hall, Bakuna Kane friend is saying, all those annexes. That's the work of Ignatius Kutu Achampong. Kutu Achampong is the president or the head of state or buyer when borrow from anywhere. But during his tenure, Ghana started exporting food. You call that synthetic? No. Look at the works of Ignatius Kutu Achampong properly. And we know say because of the circumstances around the revolution and all the things that were said about Rawlings killing people or whatever, and people and whatnot and brutalities and whatnot. It makes people don't see Ghanaians too well. I mean, Ghanaians don't see Rawlings too well like that. But really and truly, check out the works of Jerry Rawlings. Jerry Rawlings brought electricity apart from Kwame Nkrumah time. Jerry Rawlings is the one who spread electricity to the rural areas in Ghana. You understand? Jerry Rawlings is the one who returned our democracy, because after being in power for so long, he's actually the one who also supervised us getting the Fourth Republic. Jerry Rawlings coming into power and stopped that system of so-called book-long people being in government and everybody else being down there and being governed. He broke those barriers. We can go on and on and on. But what I'm saying is every head of state, every head of state be a contributor, but there are some that stand out. And I don't think saying Kwame Nkrumah is the only authentic way. No, that's not true. Kwame Nkrumah may be the greatest. He may have done the most. But apart from him, there are other people who himself, a champion was even trying to bring Nkrumah back to Ghana. He was such a pro-Nkrumah person that he wanted to bring Nkrumah back to Ghana when he was head of state. He aligned with Kwame Nkrumah's ideologies. And he showed it. Operation Feed Yourself. How can you tell me that's authentic? That's synthetic? That's not synthetic at all. And let's cut that short. It's not true. Avraham said, you can't say, since Kwame Nkrumah, the only Kwame Nkrumah is the only authentic leader and whatnot. No, that's not even true either. Okay, and like I'm saying, let's look at what John Mahama is doing properly. Me personally, I hate to have to wait for a later date and say, oh, wow, not quite, John Mahama, they're not new. No, I see it for myself. I see what he did with the Terminal 3. You see how he negotiated that thing, had it done without borrowing money, and still set up something that is paying for itself. And after it pays for itself, it becomes an asset to the nation. Look at what he did with the ports. Look at how he negotiated the whole thing. Look at the Abuadzi plant, which was Professor Mills, but he was vice president. So how they all did that together, and see how they create things that become an asset to the country afterwards. So let's not do that to ourselves. Why? And finally, Avraham, before I go, I don't think this is a time to experiment. Okay? Because Avraham, what Ghana hobby? What Ghana? What is going on in the country? We know that the country has been set back so badly. It needs experienced hands to reset. Reset we are, then we can afford to give the Cheddar types a chance again and see 4 years or more say na yebetimi asan reset bi ma. Na baby ade ya say yedui, ye de kokomo bi te say Cheddar. That's what science say no bi ma. Na ye de fa himfa. Meanwhile, we've seen John Mahama. You've seen John Mahama, you've seen what he can do. He's a sure pair of hands. He is a sure pair of hands. He has proved what he can do. And I keep saying, for me, for instance, when John Mahama mounts a stage to campaign, I don't want to hear John Mahama say, I'll build this or I'll build that. No, we already know you can build this and you can build that. Tell us things like, I'll prosecute these thieves and get your money back for you. That's what I want to hear. And I'm hearing some of that anyway, so I'm just fingers crossed. I really hope that it doesn't become business as usual and that people will walk away free with all the money that they've stolen. But let's not digress. What I was really saying is that we have an option. Cheddar, to me, is not the option. Cheddar has not shown anything to prove to me as a person, say, he's capable of leading the country. Cheddar way oni obinya asema no okache ni say wo metimi aba beto radio station ni na to waka na me to radio station na wo yedwuma ho no na mama ye demotive wa san kwase asem say e yasema e be free leader no aba obi ono opeso be leader no ne mindset ni o say opposing na obeba beto wo radio station no mama ye demotive. So imagine this person with all the powers that be in Ghana in his hands. Imagine that. Imagine that. Cheddar is not the answer. And at this time, no, I'm sticking out my neck to tell you, say, John Dramani Mahama is the only. As far as I'm concerned, I know the other people. My good friend Kofi Krantain, Bichao, every day, when I start talking about the elections, you come to my mind. Yes, there are people who have goodwill. There are people who have ideas and everything. But that's not all it takes to be president. That's not all it takes to be leader. It takes a lot more. And at this point, when I cast my eyes around Ghana and I see at least, yes, there are people who are also capable of doing that, but they have not put themselves out. The only person who has put himself out that I see, the best person that has put himself out, I should put it that way, not the only, but the best person that has put himself out for the job that I think deserves the chance is John Dramani Mahama, because he has a record to run on. He has something to show. We have tried him. We have seen him. They tagged him with corruption. We have come back to see, say, it was nonsense. So why Cheddar? Apart from that, Avraham, maybe I can be about practical thinking and all of that. I mean about your strategic thinking or whatever it is we're saying and all of that. I agree with you. Just that it most of all has to be practical. Practical. You understand? If it's not practical, it's of no use. Okay? If it's not practical, it's of no use. Since service purpose, it's of no use. So yes, you did take on your boss, your good brother, Kevin Taylor. I don't think you should have, because Kevin was right. Cheddar is not the answer. And all the things that Cheddar was saying, really do not add up. We'll be back with the next topic after this.
Shine your eye, so say you go down your grind, more way to go up in time, up in time, more way. Shine your eye, so say you go down your grind, creativity, no place, school for this life, oh yeah, say we, it's kind of modern kola. Obra sukunya kolate forma wunya kunya hwe afia twate yeni akoma mo be say yebo kase wi ne mo penafo akoda never na se cast mu twini free ana meboa es gracia wa yonko wade wa mo e kwan ni ne yaka agoma theatre bubu nua goma so mo man no na ne ap bibisa kebi mami kebi ye adwuma o ma yeti mu kan kura ni egu adwuma bibisa tipeni fu e wo mo wotema na de mo apa no mo hodi jenchima e bia mo temo so na mo hwe ne yekoso media for bosso enso ye mo mo we
know vex enough. Oh. We know vex enough. We know vex enough. Oh. We know vex enough. Your mouth is full of baller.
Okay, all right. So the next issue that we are going to tackle is why we think President Akufo Addo would not sign the bill, would not sign the family values bill.
Meanwhile, oh God, and the family, they enjoy. We know vex enough, oh. We know vex enough. We know vex enough, oh.
Yes, why would Akufo Addo not sign the family values bill? I call it the family values bill. It didn't know what to do. I just shortened it and call it the family values bill. And personally, Now, wow, okay, I will not say anything about that bill. Okay, I believe there will be time for that. So I will not say anything about the bill itself. I'll just deal with the issue that I came here to deal with, which is Akufo Addo's decision not to sign that bill. Now, in case Ghanaians have not noticed, Akufo Addo no wo honom sa no. Ohwe de wo see ne normal. I don't believe Akufo Addo wants to live in Ghana after his tenure as president. Ghana is going to be a very unfriendly territory for Akufo Addo. Akufo Addo, if you haven't noticed it, let me tell you today, the way you are governing Ghana, no, you have become very unpopular. Very unpopular. And I think you have some very daft advisors also, because sometimes, and no man will catch us a year now, one so called so year no. What mean say, sabi nyansen him. And yes, this is what I mean. They tell you to or maybe they don't tell you, maybe you do that by yourself, who knows, right? But things like this e-levy and all these things that you push down the people's throat that they have taken up, no, well, fine, maybe there's a valid reason for that. But then now, what you're doing is covertly, you are trying to say, Baumia is going to be different from you. And without realizing it, you are telling all Ghanaians, people have failed. It's not like we don't know. We know already, we're failing. But it looks as if you are admitting that you have failed, Akufo Addo. And after admitting, you failed, no? How Ghanaians are going to interpret that and say, after your presidency, it's going to be a very, very unfriendly terrain for you. We have statesmen, right? I'm a fufi baby bar. They go to them, no mako chair mo. Even you Ghana na kra no. It's me call and penifoni bi okoko chair mo. When they were out of power, many times people went to go see Jerry Rawlings. The Rastafari Council went to go see Jerry Rawlings. There are other people, groups, individuals, or more Jerry Rawlings, because he was a statesman. No Makochiano and all of that. Nice. Even John Mahama. People go and see him. Obiba around, they will go and visit John Mahama. John Ajekun Kufuor is the best example. People constantly troop to his house to go greet him. Because he's a statesman, because he did good for his tenure. He has his own things. We're not here to discuss that. But all said and done, no, he did not plunge Ghana into such confusion, into such chaos, and into such unparalleled corruption. So people still respect him a lot. But Akufo Addo, after we tenure, no, we bet me at Ghana honom, I jifansa. See a year event, na former president, about no money na tito no near mom, we bet me akobi. What kind of reception do you think you are going to get? Are you going to have to always bust your supporters to such events to counter the response that you're going to get, the natural organic response that you're going to get from Ghanaians just by showing up? No, I'm asking. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think the Ghanaians are waiting for Akufo Addo to step out of the presidency so they can tell him what they really think. Now he has the power to send people after you, come arrest you, do what not to. So certain people are like, kind of, okay. Even then, Krampon, you see how much Ghanaians are giving it to him. So imagine, say, Akufo Addo efi power. Now, Ghana. He's not going to be happy. And Akufo Addo no, the plan nina market anywhere, people. Come back on that day when you see this happen and tell me that I said it. Akufo Addo will not live in Ghana after his presidency. Akufo Addo is most likely going to go live in England after his presidency, or the United States of America. Or heck, he might even decide to go live in the Cayman Islands. Why not? Get closer to the stash. What did I say? Get closer to where the loot has been stashed. Now to hold my sorry, I'll be scanning. So now every day be a call bank and scan no could be a vote. No, what stress another now home I can't home. Then I come at 20 a.m. No, but listen, Akufo Addo is not going to live in Ghana after his presidency. Now, here is why he would not sign the bill. Because if you take a country like the United States of America, England, all these places where they are very heavy on the LGBTQ thing, if he signs that bill and it becomes law and it becomes operational under his tenure. Nasa in just months' time of presidency so na odwane kokoshe England and Nasa America. Can you imagine how the citizens will treat him? For once, I think that his daft advisors are thinking ahead. They're realizing, say, no, adi yinya sign paper. Yenam fufu ya or omowo America ni adi yentimi. We cannot look them in the eye. Yes, sign adi we ni akwakotna ye mansion bi ya towo Virginia ho baby mu. Yet onum sa obi ho say you saw what they did to the Sri Lankan president no. Oh, Janiko share America ho baby no. Oh sorry, na man for but the neighborhood or tewo America ho no. Citizens from America no edit the more akwakotwan wo ho. So imagine say Akufo Addo sign something like that. Oh nya sumdue from that community. And he will be living among them. So he would not have his peace of mind. To almost say, no, Adewe, it's best that he doesn't do it. After all, he's got only months left. Or to in Nasa and then pass the buck to the next president, whoever that may be. Non don't train who cool, don't concoct na brutry. On Jenny fans, because after all, he says, so much Tonyo Mano that Dani idea. Then Nana Akufo Addo, we did, right? So he wants to keep it that way. He doesn't want to offend that community at all. And I think it's something that he has decided, say, okay, this is what I'm going to do because I am not going to live in Ghana after my presidency. And mark it anywhere, people. Akufo Addo will not live in Ghana after his presidency. And this is why we think that Akufo Addo will not sign that bill. He will never sign that bill. You have to pull and drag and have him kicking and screaming. He still will not sign that bill. He will never sign it. If he signs it, it will be because he has been boxed into a corner. We'll live to see, but I don't think he will sign it. And this is why I think he will not sign it. We'll be right back with the last issue and we'll be out.
Push that what everybody know. I wonder what is next. Monkey they walk, baboon they chop, them no they stop, so them belly pop, but them still they chop, them go they chop, who want the money, who, yeah. Load development with the money, roll it, roll a balaba. I swear, this time we don't go take them yawa, no gangalea, one bagawaya. I swear, this time they go sell their wadawa. You say you be food soldier, they follow party matter, they carry oga dirty water, present in every danger. At the end of this year, waiting you get my dear. As it yet become clear that these people they don't keep.
All right. Okay, and now for the last issue, studio time reading 141. We have a little bit of time before we bounce. And before we do that, though, we have this last issue, and then the side on the sidelines. We'll do that quickly before we bounce. But yes, the last issue before the sidelines, of course, is Parliament versus the presidency, or better still, Alban Babin, Speaker of Parliament versus the president, and by extension, the NDC versus the president. Okay, let's look at that too. So, we're all aware of the business going on. Asante Bediako, Jimmy, straight up, I mean, Troll letter and Kwesi letter say, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. Let's pardon him a little bit. It's not his fault. He's fitting himself. He's a square peg fitting himself in a round hole. Because if you have astute technocrats, astute civil servants, people working at the presidency who know what to do, they will know, say, that letter was not supposed to be written in the first place. But then again, if you have somebody like Akufo Addo telling you to write a letter, can you tell these guys I won't draw a letter? No, but sure. So let's not even blame you kind of saying Asante Bediako too much. Maybe he was instructed to do so and he felt like, okay, let me just take the orders and, even if I know that's not the convention, but I doubt that he knew that was not the convention. That guy really said about him the better. But anyhow, that letter was written, sent to the clerk of parliament. And we all know what followed all of that. We all know how the whole issue has traveled to the point where now you're kind of saying the NDC minority or the NDC opposition, NDC, is telling the government, say, they are not going to accept his nominations for ministerial replacements. And also, they are thinking of impeaching the president. Listen, I'm going to turn the fire on you, NDC, for once, okay? Not for once, one more time. First of all, you people should have impeached this guy long time ago. And there was some chance to be impeached. Impeaching, no, more impeaching. What's the purpose of the impeachment? Impeachment, no more impeaching because he's doing something that's detrimental to the country, or that's not going to serve the good, purpose of the country. And to Jaina man say or minor to the point I kind of just months to go nothing I'm being impeaching. But I'm saying you should have impeached this guy long ago. He's done way too many things that you could have impeached him on. Bill Clinton was impeached for what? Having an affair with Monica Lewinsky and lying about it and all of that. This guy did all that Sawa Bruni stuff, had tax, go chase the woman and everything, and y'all didn't say not a damn thing. I feel the more person impeaching because of this. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to see that guy impeached, regardless. I want to see that happen. But let's be principled with what we do, okay? NDC, Ato Forsen. In fact, again, let's play Ato Forsen's voice note, and then we'll be back with my reaction. Here's Kessel Ato Forsen, Minority Leader in Parliament.
Yesterday, Parliament and the people of Ghana became aware of a despicable and tactless letter from our president to Parliament on the subject transmission of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024. The letter constitutes a threat to our constitutional democracy, and it must therefore not be entertained at all. We will not allow His Excellency the President Akufo Addo, to talk down at Parliament in the disrespectful and condescending tone that is contained in his letter addressed to Parliament. We wish to remind His Excellency the President that just in case he has forgotten that Parliament of Ghana is not an appendage of the executive arm of government, neither is Parliament an extension of the office of the President. The Constitution of Ghana spells out in plain language when the President of the Republic of Ghana must do when Parliament passes a bill and present to His Excellency the President. The President must assent to the bill or must refuse to assent to the bill when it is presented to him as the President of the Republic. These are the only options, and in this case, there is no middle ground at all per the constitutional imperative. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also say that in the instance case of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024, President Akufo Addo has taken a strange and alien position, which is unknown to the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Given that Parliament has been injuncted in a matter of the President nominee for the position of ministers and deputy ministers, it is obvious that this honorable house is also unable and cannot approve those ministerial nominees His Excellency the President has also presented to Parliament. At this point, the President may have to be innovative, dynamic, and think out of the box downsizing the size of his government. Let me say that merely piling on numbers by way of appointing ministers and deputy ministers does not signal to the people of Ghana that the president understands the seriousness of the mess that he and his government has created in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also say that this may be a good time for President Akufo Addo to listen to the feedback about the size of his government. At the very least, the two top political parties, namely the NDC and the MPP, agree to downsize government size the way forward. There is an urgent need to downsize the government in order to save the taxpayers from huge cost of running the government. Already, President Mahama has signaled that in his next government, he will not appoint more than 60 ministers. Interestingly, we are also aware that the vice president, who was part of a government that appointed 125 ministers, has come around to also promise 50 ministers. So all what we are saying is that, may I ask, ladies and gentlemen from the media, what is the prudent justification for a minister of state at the Ministry of Finance, which with two deputy ministers and a minister of state? Again, why do we have the same ministers and ministers of local government, two deputy ministers and a minister of state at the Ministry of Local Government? Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to conclude by saying that the Right Honorable Speaker has made an important call, a call for Parliament to unite against the autocratic tendencies of our president and this government. We in the NDC minority is ready to protect the sanctity of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And we stand with the Speaker of Parliament in this. Let the President of Ghana and his government be aware that where this country is going is strange under his watch, and the NDC minority will not countenance it. But I want to add that it is obvious that His Excellency the President has breached the Constitution, and we will advise ourselves. In the coming days, don't be surprised that we will begin impeachment proceedings against the president.
They insult us so much, I wonder why we no vex.
Okay, that was Kwesi Latufosson, the leader of the opposition in Parliament. The minority leader, they would call him. So, my question to you, Sir Latufosson, and to your NDC, and to the leader of Parliament, Alban Babin, also, is this. Sirs and ladies, I'm sure, because there's also female representatives in there as well. But listen, if Akufo Addo had signed that bill, you would have just gone ahead and accept his nominations. Is that what the implication is? I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend and a friend of a friend. And in fact, to be honest with you, I'm asking for myself also. Because listen, are you saying that if the president had gone ahead and signed this bill, you would also have gone ahead and accepted his nominations in spite of all the points that you were raising, i.e., the high cost of running government, etc., etc., etc.? NDC, Mutihanum na mokache say large size of government, but every single minister that has passed or that is currently in office now passed through your hands, NDC. Your members were on the committees that passed these people to become ministers. Asedun Ketia, and I keep saying, Asedun Ketia is one of the people that I respect so much. I have never, ever had cause to come against anything that he said in any way, too much like that. But the one statement that he made that I remain disappointed with is when he came out to say they passed them because they wanted the MPP to fail and to give the NDC a better chance, something along those lines.
I'm paraphrasing, but basically that's what he was saying. So they passed these terrible people because they wanted NPP to flop. And the more they flop, the more the NDC gets, to look better. But listen, I said, Nkatia, are you bargaining, or are you you're kind of saying, what's the word? Gambling the country, and its fortunes against the power that you want to enjoy? Like, what's going on here? NPP, they've messed up already. You don't need to have them dig themselves any further into the ground for Ghanaians to see that they've messed up. They've messed up already. And yet you found it necessary to bring people like Ken Ofori-Atta back in. If the NDC wanted Ken Ofori-Atta out of office, Ken Ofori-Atta would not be Minister of Finance by now. You are complicit, Atuforsin and all your people there in Parliament, and NDC as a party. You are part of the reason why we have a bloated government, because your members in the committees passed these people. We have a bloated government because you and your people agreed, say, we should have that number of ministers. Only for you to come back and start telling us about high cost of running government. Yes, that's true. But why did you allow that in the first place? And why is it that if this had not come up, if this bill issue had not come up, you would have gone ahead again and accepted the replacements for these people to go and replace them so that they become a high number again? It's in as much as I agree with you, Kesel, my good brother, we should also be practical and tell you the truth. Let the chips fall where they may. The truth of the matter is that the NDC is complicit in all of this. Hawa Yakubu was passed by people from your party on the committee. Kojo Oponkroma, Brian Achampong. So NDC near, that's a would feel say Brian Achampong. Anything good for you are, you must be off your rockets. But still, you guys went ahead and passed him as minister. And now you're coming back to come and tell us about bloated size of government. Share the blame. Share the blame. What can we be? Okay, so. And I keep asking, Ntisa Akufo Addo Edin such Shekata na sisi ya anwa. Most of the ministers not to one. We are all watching. Mobe can we manka because kana wakano yeshemo. What can we know? We are looking to see how Akufo Addo is going to get replacements in. Is he going to sign the bill to make that happen? Is he going to pull some people aside and wink at them? What is he going to do? We are watching. But share the blame. If you have a bloated government, all of them, all the ministers, all of them, all the deputy ministers, all of them pass through your hands. And if you didn't want a bloated government, you could have done something about it rather than wait till the mess is created and then you come back and tell us about bloated government. I personally am not impressed, even though I'm with you on that. I agree with you, but I'm not impressed that you're coming out on the 11th hour to tell us about the bloated government. You could have done something about that. You really could have done something about that. And then you come telling us about how the president does not respect parliament. Yes, he does not respect parliament. You know why? Because you allowed him to poo-poo over you, parliament. Soldiers, armed soldiers, came into the chamber and did their shenanigans there. Up till now, I haven't seen one single, you're kind of saying, member of parliament stand up and say that this issue should be investigated and the perpetrators brought to book. The people who defiled the sanctity of this institution, of the building in which this institution meets. Now, say, Mama na yesa, Mama na dump you over Mueria. Why would they respect you? Once you were there, no, you guys couldn't do nothing. Now, soldier for mukre to no crampo no timi mo be raho no ma. E dey no ntimi kanchem so ocho letter abrem. Letter dey send it easy cra. No matter what the tone, easy. Papa typewriter. This is computer. Zip, print. Go give them green paper. Versus armed soldiers with guns coming into the Albambabin. I'm disappointed in you, sir. Ufie, you are the landlord. Otiho, and a soldier for Abaho Abe Sam the same way up till now. I can't months, not government to fee power. You have not raised the issue. So why do you want him to respect you? Why do you want him to respect you? Carlos Juan grabbed the paper, put it. Is that parliamentary behavior? What sanctions were taken against him? We don't know. Why would Akufo Addo respect you, Parliament? Why? The same Parliament that sat down for an imposter to come and represent Adjo Safo and hasn't said a damn thing about it. Why the flying F should the president respect you if you let these things happen? Why would he respect you? Where's the bite? At the very least, I'm happy that the Parliament is bearing its teeth, if it's got any, at the presidency. That's great. That's good news. I'd love to see that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the things they are doing is wrong. Oh, I support everything they are doing 100%. But let's say it as it is. Let's state the facts. So NDC, you are complicit in all of this. Obi Eddie and Tuma Krono, Eddie did extra face mask. But now so I address for you people know say that was not a dresser for. Nobody has raised it. Why would the president respect you? Because they would think that you only have teeth when it comes to Black Rasta saying you people smoke weed. Then you go and catch him and put him in front of you to come and apologize. I'm not saying no, I'm just quoting. I beg, don't invite me. Don't invite me. If you invite me, I've not said anything. The only thing I'm saying is something that somebody has said already. Said some of you smoke weed or whatever. And that time you had bite to invite him. But you have one of you grabbing voting papers and chewing it in full glare of everybody. You've not done anything about it. Something as serious as impersonating a member of parliament. That's a jailable offense. You people have not said anything about it. Why would Akufo Addo respect you? In conclusion, because Sasem will wait me a kasa na dia sanchi bio nasa still a kasa. But the bare fact is that NDC, Ghanaians have reposed confidence in you to reset the country and put it on a proper track, to set its democratic ideals on track, to set its freedom of speech parameters on track, to set its economy back on track, to set its social, you can't say, social order back on track. The values that we have as a people, Ghanaians are waiting for you to reset all of that. So you have to come. You have to look sharp. You have to look really sharp, and you have to be ready for critique, because we're not going to be like, oh yeah, yodium, demo baby yet. No, if you mess up, we're going to be there to point it out to you. So, like I'm saying, please go ahead, impeach this president, impeach this guy. Because if not for anything at all, he should have it on his record. Say Ghanaians did not side with his shenanigans when he was president. If nothing happens, if there's no record that he was resisted, future generations will look at it and wonder what the heck. If you put, I know say it will probably not pass, right? You start the process with these junky MPs, MPP MPs, you're kind of saying, ring in the nose MPs, it will probably go nowhere. But at least it will be on record that impeachment proceedings were brought against him. It will be on his record. And I think he deserves to have that on his record. He deserves worse. But at the very least, let's put that on his record. Go ahead. Don't make it a bluff. Impeach Akufo Addo. Impeach him. Or try, at least. And all this talk about the bloated size of government, we agree with all of that. Don't get me wrong. I don't dispute any of that. I'm just saying, say, you guys are part of the problem because you could have done something about it earlier. But it's not too late. You can fix the problem. And while we are at it now, even if Akufo Addo signs that thing, do not accept his replacements for ministers. Don't. Because Munya yes you'll be telling us it was a trade-off. And we don't need no trade-offs at this time. At this time, what we need is the promise of a reset by whoever is going to be the next government. And that's all we need. We don't need any hanky-panky. We don't need any underhand dealings. We don't need any trade-offs. We don't need any bargains. Buy one, get one free. Let this guy go, let that one. We don't need none of that. So thank you very much, Kesela Tuhe, for your team. But like I said, take responsibility and make sure, please, impeach Akufo Addo for us. Motiana, thank you very much. Yes, that's it for me. I will be bringing you on the sidelines and then I'll be bouncing out in a quick minute. Stay.
Wonder why we no vex. They have pushed our every button. Oh, I wonder what is next. Monkey they walk, baboon they chop, baboon they chop. Them no they stop, them no they stop. But them belly pop, but them still they chop. Them go they chop, who all the money, ooh. Yeah. No development with the money, ooh. No, libby, no laba. I swear, this time we no go take them yawa. No gangalea, bun bagawaya. I swear, this time they go slaughter wadawa. You say you be food soldier, they follow party matter. They carry oga dirty water. Present in every danger. At the end of this year, waiting you get my dear. As it yet they come clear that these people they don't care. We know vex enough. No vex enough.
If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. If you think about these things, your head goes scatter. Honestly, finish for this country we call Ghana. Onukwa
Beshia, right now Ghana, if you Onukwa Beshia, it's looking like that. If you work, Onukwa Beshia me, you Ghana Jane. Meanwhile, we know say Onukwa Yeshia, plenty Onukwa Yeshia, but the Onukwa way they did the Shia. A good day, like say they have different reasons why they are not speaking, and that's something we are going to examine another day. But for now, let's look at something on a brighter note: the Black Princesses of Ghana. Oh my God! You see, God has His own way of doing certain things. So sometimes when the country becomes some wave, then God will make something be happen to brighten us up small. Did you guys watch that final football game? In America, they say soccer game. Yeah, but people like my son refuse to call it soccer, even though he lives in America. He insists on calling it football. He's joined that group of stubborn people who are mounting a campaign against calling it's not a campaign against anything like that. It's just a friendly little thing about football and soccer, right? There are people in America who still don't want to call football soccer because they say soccer is the original football, right? So anyway, that's just semantics. But what I'm saying is this: the soccer game, the football game between the Black Princesses of Ghana, that's the young girl team. Is that the under 16? I think it is the under 16, under 17, something like that. And then the Nigerian team. Did you guys see that game at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium? I saw highlights of them, and oh my God, everything about that was beautiful to me. Everything about that was beautiful. Everything. the vibrant colors, all of that. I know there's a lot of challenges with the games organization and all of that. I don't want to go into that, okay, because this is supposed to be the bright spot for me. So I'm not going to use that to go into all of that. But I'm talking about the performance and the whole approach of the Black Princesses. The Black Princesses started off, they conceded the first goal. The Nigerians scored first, right? The goalkeeper, they all did their best. Kudos to all of them. This is not the time to single anybody out for blame, because they all did very well. But it looks as if, say, the goalkeeper was one of the weak spots, in the team. But like I said, hey, I'm not saying anything. You did your part too. You also made some great saves. All right. But yes, the Nigerians scored first, and then after they scored, Ghanaians didn't give up. The girls did their best, equalized, and then went ahead to score a winning goal. They had some great opportunities where they could have scored also. They could have put the tally up, but they missed. And the Nigerians also missed a few chances also, which they could also have used to equalize and make our lives a little more miserable. But overall, the Black Princesses came through. They came through very, very, very gloriously. They did really well. It was such a great game. Such a great game. And one of the best things about that game was the attendance. Meaning, say, organizing committee, a floaty free tickets, and that's meaning how they did it. But it was a packed stadium, and it was very heartwarming to see Ghanaians pack the stadium like that to support our girl team. It reminds me of my daughter who played in the school. This is a photo of her actually. My little girl, she played. Can you see? Yep. There's a photo of her and Michael Essien and all of that. And then she also did a commercial for Nike. Her school did actually, but she was like one of the 2 or 3 protagonists in the commercial and all that. But yes, she played football. She played football for her school and it reminded me of her. But these girls played a lot better than the football that I've seen for a long time. They played really well, and like I'm saying, the support was massive. The support was massive. I think we should keep this up, right? How about we build a habit as Ghanaians of patronizing our female football games, Black Queens, Black Princesses, Black whoever else there is, How about we do that? After all, Black Stars echo all Africa, Black Stars call, you can't say, AFCON. Oman Fashiyamba. They came with some abysmal performance and all kind of political and scale could do all kind of nonsense, right? And then the Black Princesses go to and they bring us gold. Just like some time ago, we sent the Ghana Olympic team to the Olympic Games. When it comes to the Paralympic team, we don't do jack shit for the Paralympic team. Na Paralympic team ni more sponsor or more like that. They went to go bring us gold. And it looks like we are putting our priorities wrong, Ghana. Let's look at these things. Let's seriously, let's take all these things seriously. But all said and done, the Black Princesses made us proud. I am so proud of them. Congratulations to the whole entire team and to all Ghanaians for throwing our weight and our support behind this fantastic team to bring us the gold. Now, listen to some of the energy that was there at the stadium when the Princesses won gold at the Cape Coast Stadium. You see, the volume is a bit low, pardon me, but yes, the whole stadium was singing and praising the princesses after they won the gold. And not just after they won the gold, during the whole entire game, the whole stadium was behind them. Congratulations once more, Black Princesses, for winning gold. And congratulations to the whole of Ghana for being there for our girls. We are proud of you, Black Princesses. Okie dokie. Studio time right now reading 2:13. Oh my God, I gotta go. All right. My name is Kwesi Bako. Thank you for doing the listening today. Today's show was brought to you by the Pan-African Heritage World Museum. Go to pahw.org and sign up to be a donor for this fantastic idea by Professor Kojo Yanka. If you want to learn more about the Pan-African Heritage World Museum, also, this is where you go, pahw.org, and go learn more about this noble idea. And after you learn about that, please do make a contribution. Thank you very much. I'm out of here. My name is Kwesi Bako. As usual, I come in peace, but I come not to please. God willing, next week, I'll be back here with another topic. Goodbye.
Enjoy. We know vex enough. Oh. We know vex enough. We know vex enough. Oh. We know vex enough. Contra 56.